Secretary Vilsack, thank you so much for being with us today to give us an update on the rural economy. I really appreciated you visiting the 2nd District last year, and Under Secretary Torres Small also visited my district back in December. So thank you so much to the USDA for the strong partnership. I've got a brief comment and 3 quick questions to cover with you today, and I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to move quickly through them. First, a comment on risk management and the farm safety net. I was extremely glad to see the recent announcement that the Risk Management Agency is adding PACE to its crop insurance offerings, which is going to help farmers manage risk as they invest in key conservation practices. As USDA continues to develop new programs, I want to reiterate my support for the farm programs that are already in place, including the federal crop insurance program. The farm safety net is critical for producers in my district, and I'll be working on that in the next Farm Bill. Question 1 for you, though, Mr. Secretary. First, on biofuels, I want to thank you for support of renewable fuels over the years. I know we both see the benefit of biofuels for family farmers, as well as to meet our carbon reduction goals, which is why I'm pushing for the year-round sales of E15. How do you see the administration utilizing biofuels like ethanol and biodiesel in achieving your transportation sector emission reduction goals? And how quickly can USDA distribute the recently announced $100 million for biofuels infrastructure?
Well, that resource is going to be made available very, very shortly, as well as the $700 million to the biofuel industry. Applications will be received very soon, and hopefully by the summer, those monies will be distributed. In terms of E15, we're working with our partners at EPA. I think they announced an effort to try to get input from folks in terms of how best to institute a statewide or nationwide, rather, E15 mandate or requirement or opportunity, however you want to phrase it. And I would say it's going to continue to play a critical role. I mean, I realize that people are, there's a lot of conversation about electric cars, but the reality is that we're still going to have, for the foreseeable future, probably in my lifetime for sure, we're still going to have cars that require biofuel. And hopefully over time we have airplanes and ships that require biofuel. And in doing so, we will see an expanded biofuel industry. We won't see the elimination of this industry. We will see the expansion of it. New opportunities, new jobs. So I'm excited about the industry, and I think the future is bright for the industry.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I know you have a lot of bipartisan support here on this Zoom and in the meeting room for your statement there. Let's go back to the reason you were in Minnesota here back in the summer, a question on drought relief. When the two of us spoke in August in Minnesota, it was clear that you were thinking about how USDA can be better prepared to support farmers and ranchers in the upper Midwest if we have those periods of extreme drought like we experienced this last year. What program changes is USDA considering to address future extreme regional droughts? And will you commit to partnering with this committee to address those solutions in the upcoming Farm Bill? And if you will, about 30 seconds.
Well, we're obviously focusing on implementing the $10 billion you all provided under WIP Plus and trying to do that in a thoughtful and creative way and a fast way. Secondly, I would suggest as you're putting the Farm Bill together that you understand the need for flexibility. You also need to understand the regional differences as we develop programs. I know it's easier to do a nationwide program, but the reality is we're so complicated in agriculture that we really need to create regional approaches that allow us to have some greater flexibility in the application of these programs.
Thank you so much. And finally, quickly, rural broadband. Obviously, I'm grateful for your continued advocacy. The Reconnect program's a key part of that work, and I appreciate your focus on Reconnect. After the October announcement about making $1.15 billion available through Reconnect, I did hear, though, from a number of community-based rural broadband providers. Can you briefly describe why USDA decided to deprioritize those community providers? And are you open to working with the committee to ensure that we have funding for all rural broadband providers?
Well, I think the challenge here with these resources is to make sure that we are providing opportunity in a balanced way, and that's what we attempted to do with our third tranche of, and we learn from each application process what we need to focus on for the next application process. So this is an ongoing iterative process, and we learn, which is why we established some of the criteria for round 3. No doubt some of those criteria will be applied to round 4. There may be new criteria. We'll listen, we'll learn, and we'll attempt to try to do the very best job of making sure these resources provide as much assistance and help and expanding as much access to meaningful broadband as possible.